Well, Donald Trump's criminal trial is heading into the final stretch. This morning, the judge says closing arguments could take place next week. But before that, star witness Michael Cohen returns to the stand today for more cross-examination. CBS News national correspondent Errol Barnett is outside of the courthouse following all of this for us. All right, so Michael Cohen's back on the stand. What can we expect from this cross-examination today?
Well, Anne-Marie and Lindsay, great to see you both this morning. As you mentioned, yes, this is the final home stretch. There are some anti-Trump supporters outside the courtroom, while inside the former president, is surrounded by elected Republicans showing their support for him. But the cross-examination of Michael Cohen is expected to end this morning, and then the defense gets to redirect the jury's attention with one simple goal: emphasize and underscore Cohen's credibility in tying Donald Trump directly to the repayment scheme for him and the reasoning to cover up press coverage of these alleged sexual encounters. The jury has to trust that what Cohen said is true in order to return a guilty verdict. But what we've witnessed is some 7 hours of fierce cross-examination by Todd Blanche, who leads Trump's defense team, in trying to poke holes in Cohen's credibility, partly because he recorded some 40 conversations. But Cohen held his own. At one point, I just want to read to you some of the exchange that took place during that cross-examination, where Blanche was saying, "You recorded 40 conversations. Isn't that unethical as a lawyer?" And Cohen, as a former lawyer, shot back and said, "Except for the crime-fraud exception," which means that it's not illegal if one of the people in the call believes that a crime is being committed. And Todd Blanche didn't continue questioning on that front. So it's important how the jury ends with an impression of Cohen in returning a verdict. All 12 have to have a unanimous verdict. Just one juror has to not believe beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump was the mastermind behind these crimes and these 34 felony counts in order for him to walk scot-free. So this is a critical phase of the trial. And as you mentioned, with closing arguments next week, it means that we are in the home stretch. We don't know if Donald Trump will testify. It's unlikely, because that would leave him open to fierce cross-examination by the prosecution as well, or questioning by the prosecution, I should say.
Yes, so if the former president testifying is still a question mark, what do we know about the defense that his team is going to mount?
Well, it's interesting, Lindsay, because Trump has the option to testify. And if we've been listening closely to what he's been saying inside and outside the courtroom, he claims he's being muzzled. He's claimed he's being silenced because of the gag order. So his opportunity to defend himself is to take the stand, which he did back in January, I remember, in the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial. The judge there, though, limited what he could say because his liability had already been adjudicated. So the testimony was only like 10 minutes long. Here, Trump would leave himself open to very specific questions about his signature on the checks, his conversations with Cohen, and it would be difficult to convince the jury that he had no part of it. So that's unlikely. But as we say, anything can happen in this trial. We're not sure yet how many witnesses the defense might call. They may call no one. And that's in that case, yeah, we could see the end of this trial in closing arguments where each side makes their case to the jury one final time just after Memorial Day. So we are finally reaching the conclusion of this historic trial.
Errol's been in court so much, he's talking like a lawyer.
He really
Liability
is.
had been adjudicated. We need you back here. Errol, thanks.